So Francis Sideco here from TIRIAS Research at NAB 2023 with Harry Frank from BorisFX at the AMD booth. Harry, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, the company, and what you guys are doing?
Sure. I am the director of community for BorisFX, so I come to events like this, talk to customers, demonstrate our products. My background is in motion design and visual effects, and then I've been working in the software space for about 13 years now. So BorisFX makes software plugins and applications for motion graphics designers, editors, and visual effects users. We have anywhere from high-end visual effects like at Industrial Light and Magic, mid-grade visual effects, editing, transitions, glow effects, that kind of stuff. So we plug into the host application and we extend the function of the host application with glows, keying, tracking, that kind of stuff.
What are some of the bigger host applications that you've plugged into?
Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects, Resolve, Avid Media Composer, Final Cut Pro. Did I say Resolve? I think I said
Yeah.
Resolve, Nuke, and Flame.
Okay.
So kind of all over the place.
Perfect. And so before we get into, actually let's jump into that. Why don't you show us kind of a little bit of some of the effects that you guys are able to produce?
Right, so in this composition here, I'm working in After Effects. And if I turn off some of these layers and turn off some of the effects, you can see that I'm just starting with a simple text layer. That looks like that. And then I'm using a plugin called Zap, and that ties into the vector splines of the text layer. So it allows me to render strokes along the edge of the text. And then as I add more effects on here, I've got something that adds a reflection to the floor. Whoops, and I turned on that. I've got kind of a chroma warping kind of thing, so you can see a little bit of like lens distortion on the edge. And then I've got this thing called edge rays that does sort of volumetric light, atmospheric, atmospheric presence in the light rays, and that kind of thing. And this allows me to, let's say I go into edge rays, go to my center XY, and I can just kind of sweep the center of the edge rays right through the text.
Okay.
This is one of hundreds of plugins that we've got in. This package is called Sapphire, and it's a lot of finishing effects, glows, grain, color correction, that kind of stuff for users.
Okay. Great. So we're here at the AMD booth. What are some of the things that maybe led you to using AMD, or potentially just, whether it's price, performance, combination of both, whatever you guys are looking at when you're looking at these kinds of choices?
When you start layering multiple effects like we've got here, we've got we've got the strokes and the zappiness and the light rays and the reflections and all that. As fast as computers can be, things can never be fast enough. Like, we can never optimize things enough, right? So GPU is where the speed is at. That's where customers want it to be. So it's in our best interest to optimize things, optimize performance, optimize rendering for GPUs. And for all the AMD users out there, that's very important that we keep on top of that and we optimize performance for AMD users as well.
Awesome. And is this mostly, do you guys specialize mostly on like images, or do you also do like video and
Yes. Yes, okay. Video. Thank you. Yeah.
So with a lot of these kinds of effects, do you utilize ray tracing a lot, or is not so
much ray tracing? No, just image processing, loading the whole image. In the case of video, you've got a series of video, 24 or 30 or 60 frames a second, and it needs to be able to quickly render an image, quickly go to the next image, and that's where GPU is helpful, right? You're streaming through the GPU, and we're pushing these and rendering it in a number of milliseconds, so that as playback head advances, that we're not choking up, we're not the bottleneck of your playback.
Perfect. Great. Well, thanks for taking time to talk to me about BorisFX and your use of AMD. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.